All right, let's take a look at where we left off last time. If I press play here, you can see that we have a couple characters walking around. This one over here has actually been set up with AI perception, as well as our main character has a AI perception stimulus source. So this is by having this on here, it allows the other AI to detect or look for it. If we go to our edit project settings here, and you go down to gameplay debugger, let's see, you can see that our activation key is set to apostrophe here. And so this will open up the gameplay debugger, which will showcase the sort of the different nav mesh or AI perception stuff. So if I hit the apostrophe key on my keyboard, you can see here that it's showing the path that these characters are going on, mapped in green on the floor. If I hit 1 or 2, I can turn it off. If I hit 4, now I'm noticing this is sort of buggy. Like I have to kind of press play a couple times to get this to work right, but let's see. Yeah, so now I hit 4 and it worked. This opens up the perception, so I'm going to press 1 and 2 on my numpad to hide it. So you can see here, there's a little sphere there. And as that character sees me, and here we'll kind of, I don't know if you could see this a little bit, but you can see the sight, it says 1, and then the age next to it is how long it's been since they've seen the last character. So this is great if you're kind of building like a Splinter Cell type thing. Notice the pink area is the distance where we sort of have where it was last seen in the perception, and then it can like look for our character or whatever. And that's these little circles here that are popping up. Now notice it's actually looking at both myself and the other one because we marked it as neutral, the other AI. If we want to edit that, remember that we had set it to 3000 and 3500. What I had done is I just kind of went in here and played around, and I changed the value here from 1000 to 1500. So let's say we make this like 2000 and 2500. What you'll see hopefully, and like I said, I think it's a little buggy in Unreal 5, it doesn't always pop up. I have to kind of close it. But if I hit that apostrophe and I hit 4, yeah, see how it says category perception. Let's try again. There we go. I mean, so you can see it's much, much larger, the area here, which is what I don't want. So just play with the values that depend on your map. I want to be able to like escape these AI robots, you know, like by hiding in the room. Your homework assignment essentially would be to look online or do some research and figure out a way to do another stimuli, like maybe throw a rock and the audio will sort of make the character run to that location. But anyway, so here's 1000 to 1500. I'll compile and save this. Now you should see it considerably smaller. So let's see. If I hit 4 here, let's hide the others. Yeah, it's considerably smaller. I can hide behind these posts, right? So if the character sees me here, that's the last place it saw. And we'll eventually have to script something where the walls go invisible if a camera's trying to look through them, like they go transparent. All right, so let's actually go into our AI robot here. And what I did is offline is I highlighted everything and I hit C like cat, and I just made that area called moves AI randomly. Now you'll notice here, there's this component here, and it's essentially our AI perception component. Down at the bottom here, which gives us access to a couple different things here. It's essentially storing within it the different elements or different parts of the AI. You got to forgive me, I have a newborn, so I'm a little spacey. So anyway, let's wire this up and then I'll go back and re-explain it if it's confusing. All right, so select your AI perception here and scroll down to the bottom and select the on-target perception updated event. And if you highlight over it, you can see from the tooltip, it says, notifies all bound objects that perception info has been updated for a given target. And we have our target set to neutral. So it's going to, what this event's going to do is just sort of keep updating on whatever it's been, whatever has been last been seen, whether it's that other character that does randomly or our main player here. All right, so let's create a variable that stores what was the last actor that was seen. So the way to do that is you can right click on this actor element here and hit promote to variable, or you can left click and drag out and you'll see a promote to variable here. So either way you do it. And we can name this like, I don't know, last actor scene. And so now we have a variable that's storing whatever the last actor was that was seen. Now the second essentially element here is the stimulus. So that's like age, strength. So let's just take a look at that. So I'll drag this out, and then what we're going to do is just break AI stimulus, and then I'll like click on that. If you remember when I was talking about the debugger, the age is essentially the length of time it took. So let me see if I could compile this without it. Okay, so let's go back in here for a second. If I turn this on, let's see. Come on, baby. Let's see. Okay. Come on, work. It's kind of frustrating. Well, I'll see if I can grab like a screenshot of the age element. But what it is, essentially, it's like when we were hiding, there was a number that was visible. That was the amount of times it was seen last. And close this out for a second, clear this up. And that's what this has to do with. We really just want to play with this successfully sensed option here, which is a Boolean, which means true or false. Did we see the character? Did we not see the character? And then we want to branch that off. So let's hold B and left click and just connect this. And then let's make sure that this time, that our execution nodes run in order. So what's happening here is if our character's been successfully sensed, it's going to say true or false. And if it's essentially false, like we haven't seen it, we want to reset our timer. And actually, maybe we'll do, if we have seen it, then we'll reset the value back down to value of 0 or something. And then that way it's not always, it kind of gives the impression that the AI is sort of given up looking for the character. So sort of like those sneaking games. Or it could be the zombie games where they don't see him and they're like hungry or something. All right, so what we could do is when we don't see the character, we clear out the variable. So let's do that within a custom event. So I'm just going to right click similar to what we did before and just type in custom event, add custom event, and we can say target not seen here. And we could do that over a certain period of time. So I believe it was set timer. Is that our set timer by event? And what that the reason we're selecting this one similar to before is we the event that we want to set or call essentially is this one, target not seen, after let's say 3 seconds. So say we don't see the character for 3 seconds, we're hiding. We'll clear out that timer. And we'll do this when we don't see the character. So remember, this is about perception. If we see the character, do something. If we don't see the character, we'll clear out our timer. All right, so the target that wasn't seen that we're going to clear out is whatever. Remember, we created this variable. It's whatever the last actor that was seen. So if I hold Alt and I left click and drag this out, you can see I can do set. If I hold Control, I can get whatever's stored in here. What I want to do is, another way of doing it is if you just drag it out, it says get and set. And if you hit set, I want to set this variable. So by not connecting anything here, what this essentially does is that zeroes out whatever the last actor was seen after 3 seconds. So it kind of forgets about the actor that was seen. And that's by just not hooking anything up or selecting this, or by just creating this as a set. So as our target is not seen, just by having this here, it clears it out. So now that we've cleared out our actor, let's clear out the timer. So I think it's called invalidate. Let's see, clear and invalidate timer function. And what we can do here is it needs a handle, which is which timer or what are you trying to clear out. So the return value of this, if we right click on this, promote to variable, you can see here where you can store whatever value is set by the timer currently in this variable. And you can see that it popped up down here. So we can rename this essentially timer or whatever we like, and then connect it into our clear and invalidate timer. All right, so let's name this like last seen, or no, it's lost, I don't know, character timer. So this will essentially handle like whenever we've lost the actual whatever was in perception or seen, And so if you hold control and you drop this, we can actually get this value that's being set here, which is being cleared out, and then we plug it back into here. So essentially what's happening here is we're clearing out the last seen character as well as the timer. So let's compile and save this. Now we need to sort of hook this up in a behavior tree to really get it going. But for now, what we have is we have our stimulus if we've seen the character, or we haven't, if we're currently seeing the character or not, our perception is broken. We reset the character, we reset the time. In the next video, what we'll do is we'll dive into behavior trees and how we can better implement this.